The bed is as hard and cold as a cave floor. Every time I roll over, a spring stabs me with its angry fingers. You're nothing, the spring squeaks. You have nothing. You don't matter. It was actually good. I was actually good with nothing. Then Brandon came along and was friendly. He thinks he has pegged me, and I'm a nice guy, but he doesn't know shit. I've rocked from grateful that he looked closer at me than others, to be pissed that he made me question the cage I've constructed around myself. I was doing fine on my own. I didn't need a friend. Not until I realized how good it feels to have for someone to talk to me like I'm a human instead of a monster. Now, I just have one more person to lose. I shove my pillow over the pokey spring and roll over again. Brandon and his mom dropped me off at Schroeder's place around dark. He was waiting on the porch when the car pulled into the yard. Schroeder watched me get out, then went into the house and locked himself in his room. No dinner, no list of chores, nothing but a slammed door. I fixed a bologna sandwich and did my homework, and went to bed. Instead of falling into my normal lazy half sleep, I watched the dented metal clock on the nightstand. The hands methodically knocked me into a new day, calling out the time that has passed since that night. 6:10, 6:10, 6:10. I stay on the crappy bed, listening to the stubborn clock until I can't take it anymore. I get up, stuffing it under the curtains in the trash can, before pacing the room. You'll prove them wrong, Brandon's voice rattling me in my head like loose dice on in a board game. How can he be so sure? He barely knows me. Hell, I barely know myself. I know the person my mother started to build in me, and I know the person the fort twisted me into. I don't know what I am now. A murderer? A victim? What does his blood make me? Still not a nice guy, but I can't see where I fall on the scale, or where I fit in this screwed up world. One thing the fort did well was give people a place. They took your weaknesses and made them strengths. Most members had spent their entire lives being told that they weren't good enough, and they were dumb and worthless. The fort had turned that on its head. They told recruiters the problem was that they were too good, so good that others had to hold them down. But the fort, well, it would lift them up, make them what they were meant to be. Kids who have been bullied, transformed into aggressors. People who have felt like they didn't belong suddenly had a group of people where they fit. Well, they fit like they fit. A safe place. Wrapped clubhouse. Warped clubhouse. Only a handful of members were actually born in the fort. People like me and Kelsey and the Connor brothers. Most, like Thomas Mays, found their way there. They were runaway kids whose parents were abusive or neglectful, or the ones who didn't have families at all. People who were young and hurting, who just wanted to belong somewhere. It seemed kind of sad until you looked at what they became, until you witnessed the damage they leave in their wakes. Not that it's only kids. Lots of adults look for a home with the demented family at the fort, too. Adults who had been bullied, those bullied, neglectful kids once, or who had shared a cell with a brooder, or had joined the brooderhood for protection, either in prison or on the street. The brooders are good. They don't start off knocking hate like street corner preachers. They spot the beaten and broken and gradually lead them along the path to hell, dressing hate up as pride and rights. He forced me on a few recruiting trips, but he quickly learned that I hurt the cause more than helped it, and he gave me other duties. The pitch always started the same. They'd spot some poor asshole and ask about his heritage, Irish or German or French or Swedish or whatever. If the potential recruit didn't know, they'd prompt them. You look like you make a good Irishman, strong jaw, and quick wit. Made them proud of who they were, probably for the first time in their lives. Then they'd feed on the recruiter's weaknesses, searching for an old wound so they could dig their fingers into it, squeezing and scraping until it was fresh, oozing with all those feelings of worthlessness that drove them to whatever dump they happened to be sitting in, all leading to the source of the problem: Jews, gays, blacks, Mexicans, Asians. If they stayed around other good Irishmen and Germans or Swedes, people who were the same species, they wouldn't have those problems. The recruiters always slipped that little last bit under the radar. According to the neo-Nazis, anyone who wasn't white was a completely different and inferior species, as valuable as mangly stray dogs. And of course, they knew just the place where recruiters could have other strong whites, where they could matter and would be important, where they would never have to feel weak again, where they could help destroy those that led to all their problems in the first place. Except it's all a lie. The people don't matter. Only the cause does. I gradually learned that I was nothing. My mother had taught me that I was smart and worthy of love and respect. The only I could dictate what I did with my body and mind. But I only got 4 years of kindness, important years, but short ones. And that power they preached at the fort was intoxicating, because I didn't have control over my body there. Other people dictated what I had to do and when. Enough of that over enough time starts to eat away at your mind. In the end, I wasn't better than anyone else. Low self-esteem and loss of control, same fear, acted out in the same ways. I bundled all those feelings inside it, and since I couldn't unleash them on the person who caused them, I left them out on strangers. You'll prove them wrong. Will I, or will I prove them right? I'm afraid if I dig too deep, the nice guy my mother started creating will be gone, and all I'll find will be the beast. Brandon has the luxury of living entirely on the outside, without fear of showing his true self to anyone. There was this guy at the psych center who loved old cartoons. He had a movie with a ton of them, and that he'd watch over and over in the common room. One was about a kid who swung over the swing set bar and turned inside out. That's Brandon. He's Inside Out boy. In one afternoon, I learned his favorite smell is fresh baked bread. His favorite color is blue. I know he has a scar on his thumb where a fish hook got stuck when he was 9, and another at the base of his skull from when he fell off the slide on his 5th birthday. He knows I live with an uncle I can't stand, pass out occasionally, and have a reporter hounding me, though he doesn't know why. Surface things. A breeze comes through the open window, brushing my face with inviting pine scent, and suddenly I can't stay in this house anymore. I slip into the closet t-shirt and jeans, and pick up my beaten-up tennis shoes. I'm learning where the creakiest floorboards are. I step over them, shifting my weight to move as quietly as possible, and open the door. Trader's light is off, and he's snoring softly. I haven't figured out how sound of a sleeper he is, so I walk carefully to the steps. The top board groans, and I stop, balanced on my toes. I have to grab the banister to keep me from tipping over. My pulse thumps so hard I can feel the veins in my wrist working. He was such a light sleeper that a loud thought would wake him, and he didn't appreciate being woken up. He'd fly out of bed so fast I sometimes wondered if he ever slept at all. I was certain he stayed behind his bedroom door, waiting for me to make a sound so he could beat me with his wide belt. The last time I'd gotten up in the middle of the night was to sneak canned food into the woods, not the hole under the holly, but a different spot closer to the perimeter fence, where Kelsey and I could collect them quickly when we ran. We'd been hiding food and cash there for over a year, waiting until we were both 16 so we could legally drive and work. I was lucky he caught me before I picked up the food. No way I could explain carrying 4 cans of Spam outside in the middle of the night. Lucky is a relative term, I guess. He whipped me so hard I had to throw out the pants I was wearing because I bled through them. Trader doesn't seem to have the same particular trait, though he doesn't run out of his room belt looped in his fist. Still, I take my time getting downstairs, placing each step like it'll crumble beneath me. When I hit the front porch, I shove my feet into my shoes and without untying them, and break into a run, careful to skip the hole at the tree line. The woods are so intimidating after my afternoon with Brandon. The trees reach their leafy arms towards me, welcoming back their old friend. I reached into their grasps without giving myself time to reconsider, ducking under branches and swatting brush aside. Bamboos stick to my jeans and damp cobwebs cling to my hands. It's glorious. I run until I reach the clearing barely big enough for two people to stand. The full moon peeks through the trees, watching me. I slump against the pine, breathing heavily, then sink into dewy ground. Beads of cold sweat on my forehead and under my arms. Most people at the fort, as bad a scare as they were afraid of the words I know. But I feel more comfortable there than anywhere else until that night. Now I'm back home again. Night is the best time to be amongst trees, when it's most quiet and calm. When bats swoop and owls hunt and spiders spin webs, all hoping to catch the late night snack. When I don't have to worry about what I say or what people think or if my lies are consistent. It's only me and the other dark creatures inspiring the moon. The night woods are my river. It's been taken for so long. It's time for me to take it back. My fingers close around my button. The forest. I love the forest. Not just the one back home or the place with Kelsey, all of it. I love the color green, vibrant green, like leaves after heavy rain. I close my eyes and inhale the sweet earth, excited to tell Brandon something real about myself. The ceiling has a lake. Water drips on the fence, lightly at first, then heavier. I hate the oldest cabin. Guess I can add fix the roof to my list of chores for today. I stretch and open my eyes, and awning leaves reaching towards a halo of water down gray sky. Adrenaline bursts through my body, jolting me completely awake. I'm on the wet ground in the woods. Is he coming? I'm on my feet, quick as a snake, ears pricked for a scream. But there's no snow beneath me, only fat raindrops from above. The air is muggy and heavy, not cold and thin. The branches are thick with leaves that are just starting to turn. This isn't a flashback. Holy shit, this is real. I fell asleep in the woods. It's raining too hard to figure out where the sun is. But knowing how little I sleep, there's basically no chance I slept the whole day. It must be morning. Charter might not be awake yet. I turn towards the cabin and run as fast as possible through the underbush, so fast I almost forgot about the hole. I leap over it at the last second. The toe of my shoe slips on the soft dirt. At the edge, I catch myself before I fall in, scramble back upright, and take it off again. When I get to the porch, I stop and listen. There's no clatter of dishes or clomp of boots. I tug my wet socks off my wet socks and shoes and ease the door open. Water rattles through the old plumbing. Jordan's in the shower. I take the stairs two at a time, no longer hear the porch creak. The water cuts off right as I'm closing my bedroom door. I strip off my wet clothes, shove them under my bed, and jump under the covers in case he decides to poke his head in. A few minutes later, Trotter pounds on my door. Nate, get a move on. We're late. No, I say, a little louder, though catching my breath. That was way too close. I can't do that again. As I slowly get up again, I try to forget that I feel more rested after my nap in the woods than I have in years. I linger at my locker longer than necessary, hoping to catch Brandon before class. I feel ridiculous just standing there, so I slowly open my broken backpack and load my books, then arrange them in my locker. He's usually here by now. I twist around and glance at the giant clock mounted on the wall. 5 minutes until bell. I rearrange my books again. Maybe he's avoiding me. I don't think I did anything to offend him. God, I hope not. But I don't think that was offensive either, so who knows. The bell rings and I slam in my locker. He's probably late. People can be late. It happens all the time. Cutting through the crowd, I duck into homeroom. The morning slips by like the rain, sheeting off a tin roof. At lunch, I sit at my corner table, casting a sideways glance at the group Brandon always sits with. He's not here yet. Worse, his friends are quieter. They're usually all the rowdy guys, cutting loud jokes and throwing food. Not today. Today, they're mellow. Oh God, did I do something? Did something happen to Brandon? A wreck or some other accident? I twist, my ears pricked for a hint of conversation. A guilty feeling gnaws at me, even though it couldn't have been my fault, because usually when people disappear after I've been around them, it is my fault. The intercom buzzes. Nate Clemens come to the principal's office. Dozens of faces swirl towards me. My muscles tense, ready for a fight or flight. This is it. Something terrible happened to Brandon and his mom. I was the last person seen with them. There would be cops in the hallways or waiting in the office. Run. I stand slowly and throw my lunch away. I can't look guilty. I did nothing wrong. Trader saw them alive and well last night. Surely he'll vouch for me, wouldn't he? As I make my way down the hall, I rehearse what I'll say. They were fine when I left them. My uncle is a witness, so they were fine. The principal waits at the front desk, solemn. When I enter the office, she holds out a brown box. We're not some post office, Nate. Next time have your packages delivered somewhere else. I rock back on my heels, caught off guard. My packages? She sighs and thrusts the box in my hand. Don't play dumb with me. Your name is right there. And don't do it again. We have the authority to search these things, you know. I stare at the box, stunned. Yeah, sorry. I stumble into the hallway and tear it open. An envelope rests on top of the mound of tissue. Nathaniel. Sorry about the backpack. I hope this is a suitable replacement. I'm serious about wanting to help you. Here's my card. Call me when you're ready to talk. Shaw Holt. A sleek black business card is stapled on the note. Shaw Holt, senior correspondent, News First Network. She's awfully pushy. A random gift isn't gonna loosen my lips. I crumpled the note in my fist. Inside the box, a new backpack, all black with red ribbon. I don't want to use it, but it's better than the crappy thing I'm lugging around. I dumped the box in one of the big trash cans in the hallway and reluctantly keep the bag. I'm about to throw away the letter and the business card, but I shoved them into my pocket at the last minute. I may need proof of a reporter is hounding me, especially if Brandon doesn't turn up soon. I don't know if she's doing anything to him to get a hold of me, but I don't want to know if that she wouldn't either. A little extra precaution never hurt anyone.